Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. We'll give everyone a second to hop on here. Yeah. Gordon, Alex, how are you guys doing today?
It's great. Thank you.
Doing great. Thanks for asking.
I mean, it's almost Friday, right? So we can't complain too much.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I still see the numbers going up a bit and people are still joining. So let's give everyone another minute and then we'll jump right into it. All right. Awesome. So I am the voice behind the screen here. My name's Bracken. I'll be the host today, and I'm in charge of partnerships over here at busybusy. So we've been partnered with Payroll4Construction and Foundation for quite a while now, and we're super excited to have Alex from Payroll4Construction joining us today, and Gordon from busybusy also joining us. I'll give you guys a quick little bio about them both because I like to brag about them. They're all pretty awesome. So Alex has been in the construction industry for a little over 3 years as a regional sales manager. So he specializes in serving commercial, union, and prevailing wage contractors and works closely with companies that employ hundreds of contractors, have satellite offices, and work in multiple states. So we're super excited to have him, especially considering his main focus is ensuring that companies that use P4C, Payroll4Construction, are running their complex payrolls smoothly and efficiently, as well as on time, which is definitely important to everyone. Gordon, also super stoked to have him with us today. He's been at busybusy for a little over 5 years, and to say he's an expert at busybusy would be a little bit of an understatement. He comes from the construction industry and still holds his GC license, so he knows what a lot of you are going through. And in the 5+ years he's been with busybusy, he's helped hundreds of companies get their accounts set up, hooked up, integrated, and ready to go with software just like P4C and Foundation. So yeah, we're stoked to have everyone here today. And like I said, we've been partners with Foundation and P4C for a long time. And over the past year, in fact, we've had a lot of people, a lot of our customers reaching out and saying, hey, busybusy, you guys do a phenomenal job with certified payroll, Davis Bacon, and prevailing wage stuff. So who do you recommend to be able to do that payroll side of this? And it's an easy answer because one of our partners who's done an absolutely just phenomenal job for our customers is Payroll4Construction. So made this webinar and partnership super easy. I am not the most interesting person on this webinar, that's for sure. So I'm going to, in a second, turn the time over to Gordon and Alex, but to give you guys an idea of what this is going to look like. We want to show how the two products work, how busybusy is able to capture this certified payroll info and what it looks like from that capture and processing standpoint, and then how we're able to get that into Payroll4Construction. So Gordon's gonna be able to cover that and show you guys how easy it is to capture the information, which then makes it easy to automate and push over to P4C. And then for Alex, we want to see once that info is pushed into P4C, what they're able to do to help automate the payroll systems and, hopefully help all of you guys joining us today get a lot more efficient. So I will turn the time over to them and please chat into us with any questions. I'll make sure the chat is turned on as well as the Q&A. So let us know if you have anything pop up and we'll try and hit on everything. Gordon, I will stop my shared screen here and let you take over.
Sounds great. Thanks, Bracken. Appreciate
No
that.
problem.
All right, let me share my screen. So I'm going to give you just a brief overview of gathering time within busybusy and just kind of the setup of busybusy as it relates to getting time into Payroll4Construction and Foundation. I do want to say, and I was telling Alex this before, I've done so many of these implementations now with roughly 30 plus accounting and payroll systems. And I'm always excited to do a Foundation and Payroll4Construction. implementation because their software really is just so intuitive, and the setup is one of the easiest setups for getting time imported into their system. So I've done hundreds of these at this point, and it really is just one of the best experiences. So I'm a fan. But aside from that, there's a bunch of stuff that that we can do in busybusy to accommodate prevailing wage, union, multi-state setups, and what you're looking at. You should be able to see my screen. So you're looking at the dashboard, or what you would normally see when you open up busybusy on the web. And I'm starting here so that I can just kind of show you how you'd normally set up a prevailing wage job within busybusy, and then I'll switch over and I'll show you how employees would track their time, and then I'll show you how that time makes it from busybusy into Foundation. So hopefully by the time we're done with this brief overview, you'll have an understanding of the data flows as it starts from administrative data setup and then making it into Foundation and Payroll4Construction. So first thing, the startup.
Gordon.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
I think we have a good question here before we jump into everything, and you'd be a great person to give an overview to everyone. Can you explain exactly what prevailing wage is, or give us a rough definition?
Sure. If you, yes, I will. And I first really learned about this back during my college years. I was working for a general contractor, commercial general contractor, and of course learned about it in college as I was getting my degree in construction management. But prevailing wage stems from, it's a post-depression era piece of legislation or act at the federal level here in the United States that essentially dictates that on jobs where federal dollars are funding the jobs, that your employees must be paid at the rate published by the Labor Commission, or the Department of Labor rather, and those wages are published usually on a yearly basis, and in some areas they're published on as every 6 months. And on those jobs that you have, or you're required to do prevailing wage, those wages have to be populated, or rather paid to your employees, and then of course populated. If you're doing certified payroll, then it needs to be populated in your certified payroll reports that you would then report to the Department of Labor. Hopefully that answers the question.
I think that's great. Thank you. And I'll let you get back to it.
Okay. You guys weren't expecting a history lesson. So thank you for that question. That is a good one. So let's go ahead and just talk about kind of the setup. busybusy real quick. There are really 3 ways of tracking time in busybusy. Individual users can track their own time by clocking in and clocking out on their mobile devices. We also have the ability to do a kiosk mode, where you'd have a centralized device on a job site, or in like a shop. Employees can walk up to that iPad or that tablet and find the job they're clocking into, or find their name, clock in with a PIN number, and then there's finally a supervisor method of clocking time. All 3 are available to clients, busybusy clients, and it's not uncommon for our clients to use all 3 methods within the same company on the same job. It's really meant to be a very flexible tool. So all of these ways of tracking time do accommodate the prevailing wage and union considerations when clocking in. So I'm going to show you the setup and then I'll show you what it would look like for an individual user clocking their own time. So within busybusy, in this left-hand navigation menu, you've got the management lists, and this is where you'd manage, create, manage, and maintain profiles of employees, projects, cost codes, and equipment. So first thing, employees have the ability to be assigned a group or a position. We use those oftentimes to identify, kind of their level. If it's an apprentice, we can identify them as an apprentice. We can also group them if we need to group them a set of employees under a specific union, their default union. Then that's a useful data point or label to apply to those employees. And then the next piece, projects. Whenever you have specific union or prevailing wage projects, we do again have the ability to create groups, and I will actually sort that so that we can see our prevailing wage jobs. And you can see we've got quite a few here. Let's see, let me search for my prevailing wage job. Okay, so there's my prevailing wage job. I did change that group to certified/Davis-Bacon, but that prevailing wage job, some of the things that you can do to set it up so that we identify that as a prevailing wage job is to utilize the group. The other thing we do have to create some flexibility around tracking time to either trade numbers, and in Payroll4Construction, the prevailing wage classes, as they are related to trade numbers within Payroll4Construction and Foundation. And then of course there's another field in Payroll4Construction for union numbers as well. But either way, they work very similar to each other. And we can set up sub-projects within busybusy to allow employees out in the field to select what trade or what prevailing wage class they're clocking into. This is a way to, if you don't have dedicated trades for your employees or for the jobs, and there's perhaps lots of variation on that job, like a foreman might become a journeyman on any given day, or a laborer might hop in a piece of equipment and become an operator. This method allows you to collect that data in the field from employees as they're clocking in. So now that we've got that set up here in busybusy, I'm going to switch over and share my phone screen, and I'll show you how an employee would clock in on the mobile within busybusy. Okay, so you guys should see my screen now. And just to kind of close the loop on how this all happens within busybusy. So I'm going to hit the clock in button, and you'll see as I hit the clock in button, it's really straightforward. Busybusy works on Android, works on iPhone, and it's this individual user clock in method allows an employee to select a project. These first three items here, project, cost code, and equipment, these are pick lists that are created and maintained by administrators at your company, and your employees are able to just select the project they're working on. Now, I'm going to just hit the search button up at the top right and search my prevailing wage example project. If I hit that, it's going to expand, and I can select what trade I'm working on. Now, a common question that I get is, well, what if I can't trust my guys to select the right class, or maybe they'll screw it up, or they're going to pick the highest paying class. I get that, and it's busybusy has made it so easy for foremen, supervisors, as well as administrators to review that data for accuracy. And the thing to keep in mind as you are collecting data from the field, if that data has been originated or is originated in the field, or it happens in the field, really your best chance for accuracy is to have your employees selecting that data in the field, and teaching them practices around data. It's always more difficult to double back from the office and have them select or correct data. But those are the sort of conversations and the growing pains that we all have to deal with as we implement more automations. So, but I'm going to go ahead and select a foreman class. I can still select my cost code, and I'll select rough carpentry. And if I wanted to, I could select a piece of equipment as well. So I'm going to hit save. That's going to get me clocked in. I'll stay clocked in. I can switch from one to the other throughout the day by hitting that switch button. And at the end of the day, once I've collected all the data around my time entries, I can hit that clock out button. And once I hit clock out, I'm going to answer a few questions here and hit save. And that's going to close out my time entries for the day. And now those have all become a record on my time card. Those are in real time. So as I complete a time entry, that does become a record on my time card. So now I've got my time in. I'm going to show you real quick how we pull data from busybusy and prepare it and process it to get it into Foundation. And this is the part that I kind of nerd out about, because it's really satisfying to pull large amounts of data and have it, like I said, go into Foundation really, really quickly and easily. So, so that data that is collected from your projects, it exists in busybusy. You can always review that data in busybusy and make edits. You can filter by any of this data, and then once you're good with it and you put a bow on it in busybusy and you're ready to pull it into Payroll4Construction, busybusy, the method we use is to create a custom export, and we create those custom exports in Microsoft Excel because everybody has Excel on their computer, and it just has been the easiest way to accommodate specific needs around time tracking and time data, and it just seems to be the most straightforward method that we've come up with to do that. So, and I really like it, and our clients really like the process. So typically you would get a file that would look like this. An onboarding specialist would help you go through your specific logic as it pertains to prevailing wage, union, multi-state requirements, and you would get a file that you would save to your computer or whoever processes your payroll. And from there, each week, it would just be a matter of opening this file up. Step one uses some login credentials to your busybusy account to pull the raw data, or to pull the pay periods into this spreadsheet here. You'll be able to select the pay period you want to run. And once you've selected that pay period, step three, that's step two. Step three will pull that raw data for that pay period into this spreadsheet. And then from there, step four, so that raw data populates in this input tab. And this is what I call a big ugly data dump. It's just a line time entry per line with more than enough information we need to get that time populated into Foundation. And then step four will take that raw data and process it, and it'll output it into a file format that matches the import mapping that we've set up in Foundation. So once I've done my review, and people really love this process, and the reason is you get a chance to review the data before you commit to putting it into Payroll4Construction, and it just really helps payroll administrators who tend to value accuracy. It gives them that chance to do that review in an intermediate step between busybusy and Payroll4Construction. And then finally, the last step is to export a CSV file, and that CSV file exports and looks just like this. It's just a CSV file, and that file is on your desktop or in a folder where you can select it and pull it into Payroll for Construction. So at this point, I've already gone through and set up an import using Payroll for Construction's time card genie. Again, I love that process because it really is just so straightforward. And I did this all on my own. So I created this import template, and it's got all of the pertinent information here: employee number, the date, the job, phase, and so on. And then here's our trade and union numbers, and then the tax tables, of course, come into play as you're doing multi-state jobs, as the tax tables dictate or dictated by the job and allow you to have different tax tables by project. But so I'm just going to demonstrate an import based on that, or from that CSV file I generated. And if I hit the import button, that's going to allow me to select my file. And I've also done the mapping here, so I'll go ahead and browse for that file, and I can select that file from my desktop where it was generated. And once that file loads, I can hit the finish button, and this is where the magic happens. You can see as it progresses through the import, it's going to process all of those lines. Hit close, and now you can see here I have all of my data in Payroll for Construction with my trade numbers, my union numbers, and then when I hit the next step of this is also another thing that I really enjoy, is hitting the OK button runs a validation on all of this data, and it's going to give you errors if you have mismatches of data. So like if you have an employee number that doesn't match an employee within your Payroll for Construction, it's going to highlight that, let you fix it, and that gives you the opportunity to fix it across both platforms, and as well as any cost codes and jobs and earn codes and trade numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that button, and it'll show you those errors. And so again, yeah, it's saying that's 819 is not a valid employee, which I not surprised about that. But that's the process. I really like that process, and I think this is a really valuable validation process that gives you just really good clarity on the data that's coming into Payroll for Construction. So I hope that all makes sense. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer any questions at the end. And if if it's pertinent to the conversation, we can throw some questions in here and there. But I'll let Alex take over from there. And hopefully this is like painting a picture for you from kind of nose to tail on this whole process. And Alex is going to pick up from this point and demonstrate his piece of it in Payroll for Construction.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you, Gordon. Great stuff there. And a great mobile product that your team has to offer there for the construction industry.
Thank you.
So what I'll go ahead and start doing here is I'll start sharing my screen here as well. Then everyone should see my wonderful headshot here with my information. So I'll pause here for a moment if anyone is interested in discussing Payroll for Construction's construction-specific payroll service in more detail, hold demonstrations over the Zoom platform. Feel free to give me a call here, shoot me an email at any point in time. Be more than happy to get you for a one-on-one overview, more in-depth demonstration of what our product is here that we have to offer. So go ahead and jump right into the slides here then. So the next slide, meet Payroll for Construction. So who are we? We're going to be an online payroll service provider just for the construction industry. So like your ADP, like your Paychex, we're going to be a full service payroll provider, handle the paying of the employees via check or direct deposit, handle all the tax filings and payments for your team. So the weekly, the monthly, the quarterly, the annual tax filings for federal, state, local authorities, FUTA and SUTA, as well as the filing and distribution of employee W-2s come year end. If any clients that do join with us mid-year, hey, you already have some payroll history from this year, our team will get all payroll history up to date inside your system before we ever take you live. So come W-2 time, employees only receive one W-2 from Payroll4Construction. Second note here, that payroll processing going to be available in all 50 states. So again, one of the main points of this webinar here, and that Gordon's been covering too, my contractors that are working across multiple states, reporting to multiple states for those taxes, not going to be an issue with their mobile product, and our service will be able to file those taxes and make those payments on your behalf to whatever number of states you and your team are working in. Next point, we're powered by Foundation Software with over 35 years of experience in the construction industry. So with our system, once you log in, you're actually accessing a watered down version of a full job cost ERP construction accounting software. What our service is we use the payroll module, parts of the job costing, the general ledger, and have you enter your hours into our system from that busy mobile application. Then again, we're only working with the construction industry for our system, so we'll be able to have items that are able to then automate, streamline the process of what's coming with your complex union, prevailing wage, Davis-Bacon, certified payroll that your teams are running for your work there on a week-to-week basis. And the last note here, again, we're going to pay your employees taxes, and we'll automate reports like job costing, certified payroll, EEO, minority compliance reporting, will all be automatically generated and tracked in the system as we code time in from the busy mobile application there. So what do? We're going to handle that construction-specific payroll again. So my contractors working across multiple states, or those that are working in states like Ohio, Kentucky, where we have multi-localities. You have an employee that can work on 2 different jobs in that week, and they're hitting 2 different localities which have their own taxing jurisdictions. We need to automate that process, track it for you so we can make the corresponding correct payments to those local jurisdictions. Our system is going to handle this for you. Do the legwork as we're coding that time in, so you're not having to waste time in the office, make sure this is all tying out, being calculated correctly. We'll have items that will set up behind the scenes, tie in those tax tables, that this all process becomes an automated, streamlined process for your team. And we're also going to be able to automate pay rates for that prevailing wage work, that union work. Once I jump into the system here in a moment, you'll see that separate from our employee record inside the system, we'll be able to set up their private commercial rate, but then also have separate tables for those pay rates for that union that we're working with per that union contract, or per that government contract for that prevailing wage job. Be able to set up the deferring pay rate table, tie it to the job record. So then again, as we're coding that time in from the busy application, the system will be able to automatically look at what my employee was doing on that job, what trade classification they were working under, and then throw in the corresponding pay rate. We're not going through having to update every employee's pay rate on a line-by-line basis. Again, that system's going to do the legwork for us as we're coding that time in. Then also too, with that prevailing wage, that union work, we're going to have fringe calculations. We're going to have benefits that we need to track here. We're going to have also separate tables that can be set up behind the scenes by our team. Will send us that information. We'll get it set up. We'll have those fringes automatically be able to calculate. Then also too, for my contractors out there that have that prevailing wage work, you're already offering your employees some benefits. We'll also be able to reduce that fringe using our reduction factor, that fringe credit. So my prevailing wage, Davis-Bacon contractors, you're not overpaying when it comes to that prevailing wage fringe that we're being required to pay to these employees on the job. Again, we'll be able to reduce that fringe, whether it's on a per pay basis, an hourly basis, or if it's a percentage reduction. Also be able to automate that in the system for you. Then the last item here, your workers' compensation policy. We'll get your workers' compensation policy set up inside the system as well. Again, automatically track that data as we're recording time into the system. Can even have that broken out by our classes, types of work that is being performed, and can even set up caps to what's ultimately being exposed to that workers' compensation policy, so your team isn't overpaying when it comes to that workers' comp. Have a full report that can be generated at any point in time when you're ready to see where you stand with that policy. In the second tab here, our construction-specific reporting. So after that payroll's been processed, one of the big parts that comes with that construction payroll is going to be the reports that need to be generated with this type of work. So those certified payroll reports, going to have over 40 different print options inside the system, from that generic WH347 to state, city, specific formats available for that print inside the database, as well as direct integrations with the electronic uploads for certified payroll. So like the state of Maryland's electronic upload, LCP tracker, the California DIR, the EMARS, be able to have that report automatically generated inside the system for you. There's a spot for it on the certified report. There's a spot for it to be tracked in our system. We'll have you be able to automatically generate that report, whether you're printing it out, sending it over to that for that job, or if you're pulling that out of the system, we're creating the electronic upload for you. You log in online to the LCP tracker, that online portal, upload the file, your certified report has been completed for you. Also have print electronic versions for those that need minority compliance, EEO reporting as well, that will be generated inside the system. And job labor, burden cost reports. Again, as we're coding time into the database here, we're posting that payroll run. That information will automatically be job costed for your team on a job-by-job basis, employee-by-employee basis, even down to the cost code. If you want to see what they're actually costing you when it comes to payroll, again, automate the reporting process of those payroll runs for you. And also, again, just had touched the workers' compensation policy. That report will be automatically tracked for you as we're bringing time into the system. Then also, if anyone has a 401k, a health insurance vendor that they're working with for their benefits, be able to set up those miscellaneous deductions, have them automatically withheld from the employee's records for each paycheck. Then all that information, what we then need to report over to the vendor, is available to you, automatically withheld by the system, again, doing the majority of the legwork for us. Then other big one here, that union reporting. So my union contractors out there, again, be able to set up those lists of union benefits, what we need to pay our guys per that union contract. We'll go ahead, be able to set up that union information for your team inside the database. You get that union contract, send it over to our team. Again, as that payroll goes through the process in the week, we'll have a nice union report that's generated for you to see the total amount, deductions and fringes, what those employees have earned, then see the overall bottom line of what we need to cut the check to then make the payment to that union there. Then also too, those that have any child support, court order garnishments, tax, alimony, back pay, also be able to automate the garnishment process, have that withheld, then our team can make the actual garnishment payments for you as an optional service if you did want to outsource that full garnishment to our team here.
Alex, I have a quick question for you that came in through the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Does the system, can you guys charge taxes for different states that occur in the same day?
Yep.
On a job?
Yep, unlimited number of
Okay.
rates, states, jobs, all on one time card after it's brought in. The way that the job is set up, we'll be able to tie in the corresponding taxing jurisdiction for that job. And so once it is brought in, unlimited number of taxing jurisdictions can be all in one time card for our employees there, all in one day.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Alex.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so then back to the next tab here. So what we then also handle, again, we're going to handle those traditional payroll service items. So pay the employees via check or direct deposit, make those tax filings and payments on your behalf, the weekly, the monthly, the quarterly, the annual tax filings, the quarterly and annual returns. We'll have W-2 offerings as well as other year-end service items that your team may want to add on to the payroll setup here with us. But again, at our core, we're going to be that traditional full-service payroll provider here at Payroll4Construction. What else makes us different? We're going to have a direct integration with QuickBooks and other accounting programs out there. So even though we're built on a full job cost ERP accounting software, you don't have to use the accounting system to use Payroll4Construction with your current accounting setup. QuickBooks, Sage systems, other accounting products out there. Once payroll is processed in our system, we're able to create an integration tool where we'll pass that payroll information broken out into your system, broken out by job for job costing information, tie it back to the corresponding GL accounts, trick your accounting system into thinking you ran payroll there, but it was ultimately ran inside our database. So do not have to have the foundation accounting package, could integrate with whatever current accounting software your team's using in the office there. And our only focus here again is construction. We'll have a staff of professionals experienced with construction payroll. Our support team is our team trained in-house, only trained on our system. Walk down the hall, go meet with my support staff right now. Any items come up with that payroll, that database, anything that you may need assistance with, someone who's trained on only our system, only dealing with complex construction payrolls, will be available to assist for that payroll information. The next bullet point, like Gordon had covered earlier here, we're going to have that time card import feature where once you record those hours in busybusy, we're able to import them into the system, and based on the items that will be set up behind the scenes, when we get to, if you were to move forward with our service here, we're going to then automate the process of assigning the corresponding pay rates, tax tables, breaking out that information for the cost codes, automate, streamline this process for you, so you're not going through manually calculating all this information. And then going to have a web-based access. Anytime, anywhere with an internet connection, go ahead, log in online, pull in those time cards, submit the payroll over to us with the click of a button inside that database. Then after payroll's processed, we also do offer an online stub portal for those employees to log in online and receive their paychecks electronically there as well. Then my last page here, how a payroll is processed. You simply log in online, you enter, or in this case, import those busy time cards in, review those time card entries and payroll calculations. So you'll see where everything stands before it looks good to go. Once it's ready, you click submit with the click of a button. Our team takes over the rest. You can walk away. Your employees will be paid. All those tax filings and payments will be handled by our team on your behalf in that week. So what I'll do here now is I'll go ahead and jump over into the system here. So what you are seeing is the home dashboard for Payroll4Construction here. Again, if you were to move forward, this is something that will start you with a blank database copy. We'll get this built from the ground up to only house the information that your team needs to run your complex payroll items. One of the first spots we'll start is going to be in that payroll maintenance. This will be where we'll set up your employee records here. We have ways that we can import large number of information that will pull from your other current accounting package, current payroll provider, so you're not going through manually setting up all this information. Have ways that our team will automate, streamline the setup process here, but will become a system of record for your employees. Also get that workers' compensation policy set up, again, to be broken out by our classes, the type of work that's being performed there. But then the big item with our system here, when you see at the bottom, is we're going to have construction-specific language in here, items that are, again, going to automate, streamline that process of what type of payroll we need to track for your team here, specifically those above-scale rates of pay per that union contract, per those prevailing wage, those Davis-Bacon jobs we're working on here. So you get a new union contract, you have a new prevailing wage job coming up here, you get those lists of pay rates for our employees here. You can send them over to us, set them up inside the database here yourself as well, but send that over. We'll go ahead and get this set up behind the scenes to say, hey, what union were we working with here? Or, hey, what prevailing wage job is this here? List out those trades, list out those rates of pay. Then this is tied over to the job record in the system. Once we bring in that time, the system will look at, hey, who's my employee? What trade was he working on? What job was he on? All right, here we go. Bring in the corresponding correct rate of pay. Again, you're not going through manually signing all pay rates to our employees here. And also, too, with those rates of pay, you're going to have that union contract or that says you have the list of union benefits that you need to provide there. You also then have that prevailing wage fringe that we need to track for those employees here. So inside that system, we'll have a separate table then where we come in and we say, hey, that union that we're working with, or again, that prevailing wage job that we're working with here, here's our list of deductions, fringes that need to be calculated here. How does that benefit need to be tracked and calculated, the rate it's calculated at, how it's taxed, and can even set up limits for either if that's the fringe for that prevailing wage job, or again, those union benefits that we're offering, tracking based on that union contract. We'll get these set up, timestamp them with effective dates where, hey, on the first of the year, here's our pay rates for this union. Here's those list of benefits with the rates that we need to offer. But on maybe June 1st, in the middle of the year, everything's going to be going up, let's say $1 for our example here. Send over that updated union information. We get it set up inside the database for you as a Payroll4Construction client. Timestamp it with that effective date. So no matter if it's at the beginning of a payroll period or in the middle of a payroll week, that those benefits pay rates update. The system will automatically look at that effective date, be able to update to the new pay rates, the new benefits that we're offering for the employees, and can also timestamp that change on our employee stubs. And to, again, we'll get this built with the tables, the type of work that's going on with your team here, where then we take these, we tie them over to the job record here inside the system. Also, we'll too get your list of cost codes that we're recording against in the system set up here during that process, where we have that employee, like you saw in Gordon's example earlier, clocking in, he's recording, got time against that cost code, then brought into the system for us. After that payroll is then processed, handled by our team, that job cost information, what's going on with that cost code, can then be automatically sent over to those reports where you can run on a job-by-job basis, drill down into those cost codes, see ultimately what you're getting charged when it comes to those payroll runs, also with that burden. And two, again, Gordon had shown you the process of bringing in the time cards here. So you bring in the time cards in the enter time card screen here, then you'll also have a number of reports, registers that allow us to review how those hours and calculations are being laid out before you come over and click submit to our team for that payroll processing. So time card list proofing report here. All of our reports are going to meet you with the criteria tab that allow you to control how you want this report to be formatted. So if I just run this report right now, I'm giving a preview of all my hours that have been brought in from busy in this week, showing me Craig, Arthur, Rick, all the jobs that they had recorded against here, and the pay rates, the taxing tables, what trade, what union that was being assigned to, that after they automated the process of recording the hours in busy, bring it into the system where we're then tracking this information, assigning those taxing groups, assigning the corresponding rates of pay, and allowing you to see what's going on with those hours before, again, our team touches that for payroll processing. But then too, like I had mentioned, you're met with that criteria tab. So if you're telling me, hey, that report's great and all, seeing the employee subtotals, but we like seeing our job subtotals for that week here. Very easy to set up custom defaults for our reports on a user-by-user basis, where I now switch my criteria, rerun that same report. You'll see I have my jobs broken out with my employees, now giving me my job subtotal hours for review here. And also too, once that time's brought in from busy, you're able to make updates into their system with the employees' hours if anything was incorrect. But also once it's brought into our system, you would also have the ability to make updates if we were reviewing and found any incorrect entries with our employees' time here. So then after you review that payroll, looks good to go here. You click submit, sends a copy of that database to us for payroll processing. Within the hour, we'll have that payroll process, give you a full report breakdown of total taxes, total checks, direct deposits, total tax liability that was handled by our team in that week. Then we're mailing, overnighting any live checks to your office to distribute to the employees, or can send those to the employees' addresses for the check distribution. Then any direct deposits, our team's also, again, uploading that direct deposit file to the bank. Then direct deposits would hit the employees' accounts come payday morning. Then let's get into the good stuff here. That reporting that comes with that construction payroll after your employee's been paid, payroll's been processed here. So again, like I mentioned, be able to set up that workers' compensation policy here inside that database here. Have a report that gives you a high-level overview, broken out by class, hours worked, gross earnings, and what was actually exposed based on that policy, the caps that we had set up inside the system. But two, again, with that criteria, get you more in-depth breakdown. Maybe you're going through an audit. You can see it on an earn code by earn code basis with my employees here. My operator Arthur here had 2 hours of overtime, $75 was that gross earnings, but system automatically calculated, capped it off for us, and only $50 was exposed to that policy. Go through, give us the full breakdown of where we stand with our workers' comp. Then any report here, PDF, Word, Excel, CSV, click a button, save it to your desktop. You can pull any report outside the system if the user doesn't have access here. And then two, EEO, minority compliance reporting here, electronic uploads for my contractors in California, or just a generic federal upload here online, or over number of federal minority compliance print options here, federal, state-specific formats that our team, again, is staying up to date with these report formats. If something changes with that report, our team will make sure that that format is updated in the system. And again, run the report, put in your date range, PDF it, pull it outside the system. Your compliance report is now generated for you. Then another big one here with my prevailing wage, Davis-Bacon, those contractors that are needing certified payroll here. Again, going to have the electronic and print options available inside the system. So we're ready to go ahead and upload our electronic certified report for this week. access the electronic dropdown, go ahead, select the file format that you want to create for that upload. California DIR, Ashtaware, EMARS here, LCP tracker, the state of Maryland. I'll jump into the LCP tracker, for example, here, select that format, you click OK. You put in the date range of when you want your certified report to be ran. We say, hey, this is where we want that report to then be saved on our desktop. We're creating the XLS file upload for LCP tracker. So your team clicks report. System's going to generate some information for you, but looks like a jumbled mess. That's because we're creating the XLS file upload where you simply click close. File has not been created. Save file now. You click yes. It's saved to your desktop. You then log into the LCP tracker portal, upload that file, go ahead and submit. Your certified payroll report has been completed for you in that week. Then 2, certified payroll print option here again, come in, put in the date range you need that certified report ran for, number of report options that we can then get it set up to be custom formatted how you need it to be ran. 40 different report options here. I'll just scroll through the list here real quick to show you, again, state, city, federal report formats here that we're staying up to date here. You can see certain reports that we've revised. There's been changes our team's managing here. Number of formats available for you. Jump into the generic WH347 here. You run that certified report. It's going to generate it for you here. Then even will perform no work performed certified reports for you. Generate broken out by job, what we may need for our certifieds there. Again, if there's a spot for it on this report, there's a spot for it to be tracked inside of our system here. There should be no manual calculations, entries by your team. And then once I go to the bottom here, you'll also see that we will be able to then also generate the signature page that comes with that certified report. Go ahead, PDF it, pull it outside the system, sign it, send it off where it needs to go.
It's awesome, Alex. You guys have some great reporting functions available.
Perfect. That's great. That's great. And then the last one that I'll jump into here today for our clients too, my union clients here that are our contractors that are on the job, on the call here today. Again, we're tracking that union information for you guys here. We're automating that union report of where you guys stand. So once it comes time to then cut the check, send that information off to the union for that month, go ahead and run the report. You'll have all of our trades broken out with those unions that we were working with here. So you can see my foreman under local 6 here, showing me everyone that had their gross wages, deductions and fringes here, giving me a summary broken out by trade here as well. Go to the next one, have my carpenter apprentice here with local 6, giving me a summary there as well. Then the last one here on the union report, giving me the overall summary of those earnings, deductions and fringes, then telling me, hey, here's what I need to cut the check for. Go ahead, PDF this, pull it outside the system, cut the check, send it over to the union. Your then union report has been handled by our system for you. Again, we're doing the legwork, automating that complex process for you, so you're not going through manually calculating all this information there in the office. Right, but again, high-level overview of payroll for construction here. A number of reports that are available for you guys to utilize here inside the system. If you use them, you use them. If you don't, you don't. They're all included to you free of charge as a payroll for construction client. So anyone who is interested in setting up a one-on-one demonstration, feel free to reach out, and I'd be happy to set up a time to walk you through a one-on-one custom-tailored overview of our database here. But I'll go ahead, pass it back to Bracken here, because it looks like we got some questions there in the chat that we'll go ahead and handle here.
Yep, definitely. So I don't want to keep you guys too much longer, but we do have some great questions that I want to hit on right before we're done. So one for, I guess, both of you, Gordon, Alex, what is the communication between busybusy, P4C, and QuickBooks? Where is the main source of truth that you enter a cost code or a job into, and then like, is there any additional entry, or how does that communication work?
That's a good question. It kind of depends on where you're managing, I guess, your source of truth to begin with. busybusy also has an integration with QuickBooks. It's not going to be like Foundations. It's going to have different data sets coming over. But for busy, our integration is works. The way that it would work is you'd be able to connect QuickBooks and busy, your projects, cost codes, and employees would be syncing over from QuickBooks, which really makes managing busy really easy for administrators. And then of course on that back end from time coming out into Foundation, I demonstrated that, but I'll let Alex answer on his end what that integration with QuickBooks and Foundation looks like.
Yep. So with our system here for the payroll service integrating with QuickBooks, right now, currently, if you do get a new cost code or a new job that you're entering into your accounting system, you would have to come in and manually enter that job or cost code, set it up inside the Payroll4Construction database. Very simple process to do for the cost code. You simply type in the number, put in the description for the cost code, click OK to save. Your cost code set up inside your payroll system. And then for a new job for setup, all we would need is that job number and name, the description to match how it appears inside the QuickBooks system, but you would have to come in and manually enter that information into the Payroll4Construction database. But we do also offer a job import option there as well. If I have any service-based contractors out there as well, that is something that we could discuss in more detail of how we're able to import jobs in from a CSV file for setup there. But for us, if it's set up new in QuickBooks, you would have to manually set it up inside the payroll system there.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys. And one last question, and if we didn't get to your questions, we'll reach out and make sure everybody's taken care of. But want to give you guys some time to get ready to hop into your next meetings and everything. So last question, again, for both of you guys. What if I need to make edits? Do I do that in busy or P4C? So, I mean, I guess how I would base that answer is they're saying if they've already pushed it into P4C and need to make edits, when do they do that and where?
I can provide my opinion on this. I really think data fidelity matters a lot across the systems that you're working with, and I would recommend that you evaluate your data flows and your processes and at what point you are making those edits. Now, I did mention that there is quite a bit of flexibility as to what you can correct and at different stages, and that remains true. You can make edits in busy. You can make edits in the spreadsheet. You can also make edits once it's populated into Payroll4Construction. So that's available. But as I've done this so many times with so many different clients, my take is that the best practice is to make sure that the data is as correct as possible at as close to the beginning of that data flow as possible, so that you're not doubling back and making corrections. So make sure it's pretty ready to go in busy, push it over to Foundation, Payroll4Construction, and hopefully there would be minimal edits at that point, but that would give you your data fidelity across the systems.
What I'll say, piggybacking off of Gordon there, his answer is exactly what I would have given there too. If you want that data integrity, get it as close to the source where it was entered, make that update, then you can pull it into the system from busy, but also too, you can make edits and updates in the Payroll4Construction database after it's brought over on the fly there. But your team would want to have the conversation to see where ultimately would be the best place to make that update. But at the very least, you do have the ability to do so in both systems there.
Awesome. Well, I think that wraps everything up. There, like I said, are a few questions that we don't have time for today, but we'll reach out to you guys and make sure everybody is taken care of. And I posted this in the chat, but in case if anybody missed it, if you're unable to stay for the whole time, I guess you wouldn't be here. But if you joined late or would like to share this with a team member, we will be sending out a recording. So we will be in touch. And thank you, Gordon and Alex, as well as thank you to all the participants who took some time out of your day and asked a lot of amazing questions. And we are excited to work with you guys.
Thanks, Bracken. Thanks, Alex. It's such a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Bracken.
Talk to
Thank
you
you,
later.
Gordon. Love the partnership here, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye, guys.